I'm Vicky, and I'm the founder and CEO of Dapper Boi. Yeah, so I'm actually from a small town in upstate New York, 20 minutes north of the capital, Albany. And I went to school, college up in Plattsburgh, New York. And actually, my first associate's degree was in physical education, and then it moved to mass media communication. From there, like I was scared to death to move to the city. It was like such a scary place for us upstaters. It's pretty much like another world over there, another state. So I had some family here in San Diego, California, and decided to just try it out for summer. I worked with my aunt and uncle at their little mail shop. It's like a kind of like a postal annex type place. And I just loved San Diego. I started, looking for jobs and anything I could grab in the marketing world. And I ended up at a casino here in San Diego called Viejas. And I worked here or there for eight years actually. But I actually don't have a fashion background. It's just once I started becoming kind of more comfortable with myself and who I was and, my style before, I had long hair and I would try to dress, girly, and it was never me. And I hated it. I hated shopping. And then this is kind of a long story, but I'll make it a shortened version. After I had my first lesbian relationship here in San Diego, once it ended, that's actually when I became comfortable with myself. I started going out into, our gay scene here in San Diego, and I chopped my hair, and I was excited to shop in the men's department. And I remember trying on my first pair of jeans in the men's department, and it was crazy because the jeans, like, they didn't fit me actually. It was unflattering, but that was the best I ever felt. I felt like that was myself, and I could dress masculinely, and that's when I really started caring about how I looked and, making sure my ties were matching, like I had accessories and all kinds of things. And I was just super excited about fashion at that point. Yep. So it was mass media communication. So I was saying like radio, television, on-camera performance, all that kind of stuff. Advertising. Yeah. So when I moved to San Diego, I started in marketing. So I started as like the Players Club ambassador, signing people up for a club card. And then I kind of worked my way up through the casino. I, handled the VIP guests, and then I ended up upstairs behind the scenes. I was writing promotions and until I was the promotions manager there. From there, I ended up moving to another casino where I was the head of the marketing department. And then even from there, I moved off on my own consulting with casinos in the marketing role. I was an extension of marketing teams for casinos. Yeah, so I'm very casual. I guess to anybody, I guess this is a simple way. I'm a person that used to like to shop in the men's department. I like very, societal, masculine appearance. And my normal everyday is actually shorts and a t-shirt. And that's why I love living in San Diego. But I wear like button-ups, jeans, t-shirts. That's my everyday wear. Yeah, that's a great question. So that's exactly how it started. So from that very first time I tried on men's jeans, I only shopped in the men's department from there on. And once I started really caring, I'd say probably a year into that, I realized that men's clothing aren't made to fit, the curves of a woman's body. So I looked everywhere for a brand like what we have now, and I couldn't find anything. So that's how Dapper Boi started. To be honest, we actually started with suits because I was in the casino world and I had to dress professional and wear a lot of suits. We started designing our very first suit back in 2012. But at that time, actually, there were quite a few suit companies coming out then. And so I kind of I took a look at all my laundry list of items that I wanted to create and decided to go with everyday wear. So actually, that's where the name Dapper Boi comes from. It was dapper as in like suits. But then I realized like dapper is kind of like a feeling. I think you could feel dapper if you just have the right like fit and look. And so we were like, let's keep it. It's awesome. So Dapper Boi, it's kind of a play. Boy is kind of playful. It could go for a man or a woman and have a little fun with it too. So I think that's where we're going with that. But yeah, so we look back at our laundry list of items that we want to create, and jeans was the very first thing I tried on. So that's where we began, was with jeans. Yep. We were just messing with logos. I bought all the fabric. We were trying to find a pattern maker at that point to, make the suit. We had talked to quite a few different people. But they actually, we had a few hangups during that time too. People were just like not interested in helping. So I really took a step back, and I waited at least another year before I started really thinking about Dapper Boi again. So it's probably 2013 when we decided, okay, let's change up the game. And then 2000, just thinking through ideas, I was like literally just drawing designs myself, and I have no background again in fashion at all, but I was thinking through ideas of what it could look like. And it was finally in 2014, right before my wife and I got married, that we decided, let's do this, start with jeans. And we both just for months started calling manufacturers. And the interesting part was that, again, we were getting hung up on left and right. People are like, do you even know what you're doing? Like, no, I don't. I just have an idea, and that's it. And, I'm looking for the right people to help us. So finally, okay, so in early 2014, the fall of 2014, we were excited that a manufacturer actually called us back, and they said that we had a really interesting concept. Because basically what we did was we took the notes from all of our favorite women's jeans and all of our favorite men's jeans, and we needed to combine them. And again, I don't have that background in pattern making, and this guy did. So we went through, 5-6 samples, which takes a really long time, by the way, every single one, especially when they have other productions that they're working on. So yeah, we finally got the right sample that we're really happy with, that fit both men and women, in 2015, early 2015, because we launched our Kickstarter in April of 2015. So we wanted to launch on Kickstarter first, to just make sure that our business was viable. And then after we successfully, raised over 26,000, we were trying to raise 18,000 for our first production. We raised over 26,000. We were like, okay, I think we have something. If we could do this, just the two of us on our own, just by, word of mouth through Kickstarter, which we had no idea what we were doing there either. I think we have something. So we decided to incorporate our business. It was June of 2015. So just a couple months, or actually, a month later, because we successfully made our funds at the end of May. Actually, I'm sorry. I just thought of something. I'm going to go back real quick, just to talk about the product itself and what was important to us when we were creating the product. So, when considering the jeans, when looking at the men's and the women's sections, there's really a big difference, actually, when it comes to just jeans. I mean, there's differences in every product is what we're finding, but with the jeans, I don't know what it is about women's pockets, but they stop short. And I don't know why women can't have function, but they don't. And so that was something that we wanted to incorporate in our jeans. So we have deep pockets in the front and the back. We decided to go with fabrics that complement curves, any curves, even, men who have curves too, like they have the same issue. Like you always have to buy just a gigantic size just to be able to fit into it. And then it's unflattering and untrendy and not cool. And so that was something we want to do. We started with a slim straight style that really, I feel like, complements a variety of body styles. And of course, eventually we'll move on to different styles, but that was what we decided to start with. Another thing is, we just made room for hips and a booty, that was really important to us, because I definitely got one. And I really based it on what I needed. But yeah, those are key things. Even the zipper, honestly, like the women's, like our crotch length is kind of like a happy medium between the men's and women's jeans. Women's, the zippers are really short, and we just made it, happy medium between men's and women's. So those are a couple of details in the jeans that we're excited about. Also, function. So everyone has a smartphone. There's something that people refer to as a coin pocket in jeans. It's that tiny pocket that's like within the big pocket. We made that functional, and we made it fit a large smartphone. So you can fit, iPhone 7 Plus in one of those pockets. So that's something we, push out there to the world. because it's pretty cool. Sure. So we are all online. We're an e-commerce site. That was an interesting process too, to find, how are we going to make a website? We, again, didn't really have much money to start, because we wanted to invest in as much additional jeans as possible from our first production so that we could actually have something to sell, when the jeans actually came in. So we found Shopify. It was a great, easy site to use. And we were able to just like plug in images and have a really nice looking site for, inexpensive without having developers. So that's something we started. And again, we started with just our jeans and t-shirts, and that's all we had on our site. And we put it out to the world, and we were like, okay, we're live. Now what? It was interesting. So we relied a lot on social media at that point to get started. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, still what we use to this day. Sure. Actually, once we had the jean sample approved, so even before we launched Kickstarter, button-ups was the next biggest thing on my list. And we had actually been working on that just as long before we launched that button-up shirt. People didn't know that was something we were working on too, and that took a long time. But that's something that always, for me too, same problem. When I walked into the men's department, I tried out a button-up shirt. I felt awesome, but I always had to buy a huge size to like fit my but it wouldn't fit my shoulders, just to fit around my hips. So that was the only way it would fit, but it looked ridiculous. So we made a shirt that accommodates hips on the bottom, but a little bit more relaxed in the waist, so that it's just a flowing, nice shirt. We also have, like I can show you right now in my shirt, we have these snaps that hide the chest gap. Sometimes even in men, it's stretched at that point here too, where you have a gap and you can see right into the bust line. So we added actually 3 now snaps that go down, and it's underneath but hidden behind the button placket so that you can't see into the shirt. So that's something that was a really big selling point for us too. And then, every shirt we've come out with, we always try to change it up based on feedback from our customers, because we know we're not perfect and we're still a startup. So another thing we added, like our latest, I have one of our button-up shirts here that we just recently got in. It's a short sleeve shirt, short sleeve button-up. It has it's hard to see, I know, I'm sorry, the snaps as well, but we also added a simple buttonhole that goes right next to the pocket here. And what that is a sunglass slit. So like, so whenever I go to I don't know how many pairs of glasses I've lost by having them right here and hanging down, and I hate that. So we added the little slit, and it fits perfectly in there, and it doesn't move. So those are like little things we like to think through, with our brand, those little like functional details that I get all excited about. I like totally nerd out.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we have a lot of different products. We have like, t-shirts, sweatshirts. Oh, a huge one actually too, is actually what we started with our jeans and our Kickstarter campaign. We actually copyrighted this. This is I'm Not a Boy. And so we have these I'm Not a Boy hats and I'm Not a Boy shirts, and they went crazy for them. And it was supposed to be a lighthearted kind of thing, because, and again, I base it off of my own personal story. I get it all the time. When I go to the grocery store, when I walk into the women's restroom, I get the double glances. I get the, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. And for the most part, I've been lucky in the fact that people usually feel bad when they say that. And then it makes me feel bad because I'm like, it's okay. I'm okay with it. Don't worry. So that was kind of the premise behind the I'm Not a Boy. Like, I put on that hat, I'm like, hey, it's all good, okay? Like, we're human beings that make mistakes, and it's fine. Others are not so lucky, and I know that we've had a lot of people share their stories, and some people take the hat very seriously, and they wear that with pride, actually going to the restroom. That's something that they can easily point out with not having to explain anything. They're like, listen, I'm not a boy, like, I'm allowed to be here. So we've gotten a lot of emails and stories from people thanking us for that hat, for our t-shirt that says the same thing. And yeah, that's something we're actually really proud of, and we decided to look into a little bit further with other products. Yeah, I have 2 stories actually. One is a mother emailed us, and it was for her little girl. She was 11 years old. We've featured actually quite a few times on our Facebook now. And she told us her daughter dresses like a boy and has short hair, and she goes to school and is scared and gets bullied. And because of not only the hat, of course she wanted the hat and she wore that with pride, but just having our brand there in general for her, she just knew that there's people out there like her, you know, and especially, you know, someone to look up to. You know, we're not necessarily a kid brand, you know, so but she follows us now on Facebook, and when we posted her picture, the love that outpoured from the story that I posted with her picture was like, you know, stay strong. Like, all these people were reaching out. It really was just a community, you know, reaching out to her, and her mom was just overjoyed and told us like that meant the world to her. So later I see orders coming in from her, the little girl. Now she gets like our extra small shirts, and it's adorable, and I love it. And it was definitely moving, and it just lets us know, too, my wife and I, that, you know, we're doing something good here, and it feels amazing. Another story was with our jeans, with our brand in general. After our Kickstarter campaign, someone had actually said that their brother was suicidal, and when she showed him our brand, again, the same kind of feeling. And this is so crazy to me that we can make that impact, because I feel so small, I guess, but that he felt like he could relate, and that there were other people and he wasn't alone. And I think that's the most amazing thing right there, that people don't feel alone. There's people just like everybody else out there. No, yeah, definitely. We're really excited. We have a big, we've been working on a lot of stuff here, and I'm really excited to launch each item. Every item to me is like, I need it. So I know there's got to be people that need it. Well, I can kind of step back here. Over the summer, we launched a bathing suit. That was also another, that was actually our most successful campaign that we've ever launched. And it's very simple. When it comes to the fashion part of it, all I was looking for was a tank. You know, I noticed that myself when I was looking for swimwear. I used to only wear like a tank top, a sports bra, and some board shorts. And those were not made to go swimming with. You know, I always had to like wring them out. They dry, you know, in the video we say it dries crispy. It's just not made for swimming. So we took that basic concept, because I noticed that every pool I would go to, people were wearing the same outfit as me with the same issue. So we really made a tank top in that form. Because again, if I go to the women's section, I would find like a bikini or a tankini, and those are not things that I would want to wear. I felt awkward in those things. I'm not ready to just wear a sports bra. You know, I'm bigger, and it's just not comfortable for me. So we really made a simple tank made of bathing suit, you know, material, and board shorts and a sports bra, all bathing suit ready. And that went huge. Just those simple pieces right there made such a huge difference. And we had the emails pouring in, and pictures from people wearing their Dapper Boi bathing suit and how proud they were, and that they weren't scared to go to the pool anymore. So that was something we were really excited about. We plan on kind of, you know, morphing next year a little bit further based on feedback that I'm really excited about too. As for other products, I'm going to launch some more button-ups, definitely. We've definitely want to tailor to, again, the feedback we've received, maybe shorten our sleeves a little bit. They're a little bit long, because we base a lot of it on the men's shirt, bringing in the shoulders a little bit, shortening it a little bit so there's not so much flare out on the bottom, because that, you know, looks feminine to a lot of people too. So those are the little tweaks we're making. I'm really excited about I'm working on some jackets, and I won't give too much more, but the two specific jackets I'm really excited about too. Very casual wear. Again, we're sticking with casual, sometimes a little business casuals where we're moving to, that I'm excited to see how people react to that too. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming in the next few months, actually. I'm really stoked. Well, you know, we're starting with the basics. We're still really, you know, we've been in business for 2 years now, but I still consider us a startup with starting with the basics. So my most important thing right now is getting the fit accurate. And then from there, you know, we'll move into more detail, like fun designs, you know, patterns, things like that. But for the most part, we really use like a premium stock fabric. Stretch is always important in all of our pieces to fit a wide range of body styles. From there, what I'm really excited, and it's going to be the biggest challenge ever, is I don't want to base our clothing on gender. It's going to be based on body style alone. You know, right now our jeans, they fit men and women great. But there's other styles I can't wait to launch: skinny jeans, super skinnies, relaxed fit, things like that. But with our button-up shirts, for example, like I mentioned, they have a very wide, bottom to make room for hips. And on a lot of people like myself, you can't even tell the flare is there because I have those hips there that cover it. But with some people, it doesn't work. It's not a style for everyone. So we're really excited to take, this same button-up shirt, whatever color it is, and offer a variety of body styles in that. So when you come to our site, you can choose, the model that your body is most similar to, and then you'll be able to have that same shirt. So again, it's not based on gender, and that's where we're excited to go. And I think there's a really big need for it in gender-neutral fashion. It doesn't really exist. I mean, it does, but it's hard to find. It's not mainstream, that's for sure. So I would love to be a pioneer in that, and I'm going to be pushing and pushing and pushing as far as I can to get the help I can to get us there. I also think in the e-commerce world, I don't plan on having a storefront. That's not a dream of mine. But I want to take the next step in a virtual reality and having a real shopping experience in the online world so that we are truly accessible to everyone. So that's something that's in the works as well. Yep. So our jeans right now are currently being made in Los Angeles. Our bathing suits are made in Colombia, and our button-ups are made in China. And I know that China has a bad rap when it comes to, usually a lot of people are like, oh, China, but we work with a manufacturer that's actually based in San Mateo, California. And they have their own factories in China because of that bad rep. And their whole premise of their business is based on ethical manufacturing. We're encouraged to go there. They have different standards than most China facilities. So that was the questions I was asking him too when I was like, oh, China, and he's kind of changed my mind, working with them in particular on this. So, and that's something I'm proud of, actually. Yeah, it's really hard. When we first started, I wanted everything US made. And to be honest, it's really hard for a startup. It's really hard. Minimums come into play. The prices are astronomical. We would never be able to survive. So this was a way to do this. And it was kind of a happy medium when we met this particular manufacturer because they were half here and half there. So they have people that are overseeing the operations from here constantly. So that kind of made me feel a little bit better. And then, of course, seeing the prices were a little bit better too. But we also choose, even though it's cheaper than the United States, we still choose premium fabrics because, again, that was something that was really important when it comes to fitting body styles, is getting that particular soft stretch fabric. So we still get those premium products, but we're able to get it at better pricing. Well, to speak on that, actually, that's one of the challenge. I know this is one of the questions you had asked, like what's the big, one of our challenges right now. And that's, it is our pricing, and that, our jeans, we retail them at $120. And to a lot of people, that's a tough pill to swallow. So we had to think through a different business model. So I can kind of backtrack into that a little bit. So, after we launched our Kickstarter campaign, we got our jeans, 4 months later, and we started shipping them out to everyone. Great. People were loving them. Awesome. And then we sold out of the rest of the jeans that we were able to order. And then we had nothing, and we had no money to invest into other productions. And we were screwed. We didn't know what we were going to do. And people, again, we hear all the time, you guys are expensive. I'm sure a lot of other brands are saying, small brands like ours are saying the same exact thing. We just can't compete with Target, Walmart, Forever 21, any of those brands, because, again, our minimum quantities are, I'm lucky if I get 300 of, one shirt, and that's, the minimum. So I'm getting the highest price point from a manufacturer then. And it's not easy when you're on like social media and people are like, you're expensive, and I can't, I feel like defensive. I take things very personally. So when I'm like responding or not responding to something like that, I have to really think that through and what they can relate to and understand. And it's that's been the most challenging. So anyway, we had to come up with a solution. So what we did was, and this is what works, we went back to the basics. We thought about Kickstarter and when we launched it and the momentum that my wife and I had during that time period, and the community coming in and they were able to get it at a special price point. And we're like, well, maybe that's something. What if we moved this to our own website and we do kind of like Kickstarter-like campaigns, but still be able to, get in on the right price and then eventually sell at retail, because we can't stay at wholesale price for our lives. So we won't ever be able to grow. So what we do is we launch every product. We try to do every other month at least. One product we launch at wholesale price, so like half of retail for a 3-week time period, just to see if people are interested. And we have a funding goal to raise, right? And so if we successfully raise the funds needed for a production, we go to production and our customers get the product within 6 to 10 weeks. If we don't raise the goal, we don't make the production, everybody gets their money back. So that was like how we can, and then they get it at, that special price for the 3 weeks only. So that's kind of incentivizing them to, I want to get on the special price. So far we've successfully raised, there's only one campaign we haven't funded, and that's great. Like our business has been amazing this past year, the best we've ever been, and growing quickly. And so that's how we're able to produce so many products, is that we're doing these campaigns every month where we're just like, putting them out there and seeing if people like them. And then we invest a little bit over what people order from us, and then we sell it at full retail price. And so that way we have inventory constantly. So people are buying our in-stock stuff at retail price, but we also have that special pricing in the very beginning. So I think that people are really looking out for, what are we going to come out with next? How can I get it at that special price? And it's been amazing, actually. Yeah, sure. So our jeans, again, so when we launch the jeans, when we launch a new pair of, like, let's say black jeans that we just launched, like we'll launch them for a 3-week time period at $79. And then if we successfully fund the campaign and they come in, once they get here, we move them to 120. And then even though we'll say 150, and then I'm scared of 150. And so I go down to 120 every time. Like that's what happens. I don't know. It's scary, the pricing situation. But our button-up shirts, we launch them always at $39. We usually sell them retail anywhere between, I go up and down with sales constantly, because again, that's my just brain of like, it's too much, we can't, between 58 and 68 retail. T-shirts and hats, we do like usually like $24.95. Well, these are black pair of jeans, so you can see, but some of the details here. Can you see that? The 2 pockets here. So this is where we have the smartphone pocket. Put that right there. And so that kind of like separates your like keys from your wallet, from whatever it is. But they all have like a super stretch to them. So they feel like almost sweatpants, and that's the best part. Yeah. And then we just have our like faux suede patches, and I don't know how else to show you this. But yeah, just a slim straight pair of jeans right here. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm always looking, again, before I even started this business, I did like to shop in the men's department. So I still kind of wander through and I'm like, oh, what looks cool? And I'll still buy, different products and be like, how can we morph something like this, into our fit? Or, but again, we're really starting with those basics. A lot of the time what will happen is our manufacturer will send us a bunch of swatches. And so right now, again, we're trying to perfect the button up. So I know like right now I'm on that mission, and I'll just be like, okay, let's make 6 of those in like whatever fabrics that, you have available. Because a lot of time we have to choose stock fabric. When you have to design something from scratch, it just takes a lot of time. And so if I need a quick turnaround for a crowdfunding campaign, I'll see what they have available and in the most fabric they have available, and I'll give it a shot as long as it has some stretch to it and it looks nice. So again, we're starting with the basics right now, and then we'll eventually go into some fun designs. You know, it's a tough one. I actually don't have anyone in particular. I look at a lot of like trendy men actually, and I can't even pinpoint a particular one. I follow a bunch on my Instagram, and I see all kinds of different styles. Even sometimes, this is cheesy, but like I'll have my wife stop. Like we'll be watching like The Voice, like Adam Levine, for example. This is just one I can think of, and like, oh, that's a cool shirt. Like pause that, and I take a picture. I'm like, okay, like what if we made this jacket, or you know, whatever it is. So there's no one in particular that we look to. It's just whatever I see, I get like a kid pretty much. Yeah, or even like my wife has super trendy brothers, and I'm always like looking at what they're looking at next, and I really go like just think through like, well, what can we make from what we have into something like that? You know, it's really changes every day. But I think I've been focused. I have a pretty specific list that I've been working on, so I've been kind of focused on that. But when it comes to like colors and you know what's in for the season, I do pay attention to that as well. Yeah, no, it was just my wife and I starting the jeans process. She was the one making our media list when we very first started, you know, for our Kickstarter, like who could we reach out to that might promote our stuff? And we did this whole process together, going and trying on jeans. I had her try on a million pairs of jeans too, and taking pictures of the men's and women's jeans. And it's been an amazing process being able to do that with her, for sure. Yeah, I would say mostly and where we started really is the androgynous woman. So someone like myself that likes to shop in the men's department. But then from there, I would say we're really trying to not categorize ourselves too much, because what I was finding is that there are actually quite a few men out there that are very interested in our brand and really like the fit of our jeans that maybe they weren't tended to, you know, either. Like maybe a plus size man who they don't have a lot of options when it comes to trendy apparel. Like they have to all you know, go to the big and tall section, and it's there's not the best options there sometimes. So we're finding that too. So I haven't been wanting to like limit myself, because to be honest, we got a lot of like heterosexual males coming to me saying, oh, is that a lesbian brand? You know, like because of who we were, you know, initially targeting. I'm like, not at all. And I think that's where, you know, I started to take a step back, and I want to think about everybody. And again, based on body type, not on gender or sexual orientation. And that's where I'm like, I'm having trouble here, because I never want to forget our initial audience, and because they have the least amount of options available, I think. So that's been a real challenge. Probably the most challenging is like, who do we target? How do we target? And how do we do that sensitively too? So, you know, our models right now who we selected were really kind of friends of ours, you know, who had the same challenges as me. Again, we don't have a lot of money to spend. So they were, you know, anybody we could find initially to volunteer. And yeah, so right now we actually take kind of a very lighthearted approach to our advertising. We do a lot of fun videos with our models. Like that's something actually I think we're starting to be known for, is our videos. If you haven't, definitely check out our Facebook videos. I have them doing dances, and me included, like R&B style, like Boys to Men, to you know, running around a store with the I'm Not a Boy shirt and dancing. And I think a lot of people look forward to seeing those. And, you know, not taking ourselves too seriously is something that's really important. I wanted to have fun in life, you know, and live this life in that way. So the models we choose have a lot of fun. They're kind of goofy, and people love them. And that's where we've been going. But to answer your question, sorry, I totally went on a tangent here. Right now we're focusing on androgynous women, and we're really trying to think through how we're going to really start targeting men, feminine women, everyone, just based on body type. Yep. And actually our biggest success comes from Facebook. That's where everybody has come from. Actually, 95% of our customers are coming from Facebook. So that is actually where we put all of our advertising money at this time, and what works best, because we're able to really actually target our audience through there. pretty specifically. It's been pretty awesome. But again, those videos have been key. Videos are key on Facebook, and that's been something that's been really driving that traffic to our site. And it really just makes our brand very relatable and likable. We just hired our first part-time employee, and it's actually one of our models, Celeste, and people love her. So she's been also responding. So we come in, I mean, we're here. I come to the office multiple times throughout the day. I meet Celeste here because she's just part-time. At nighttime, I work from home. I think I eat, sleep, and breathe Dapper Boi, literally. And I love it. And I love it too. Yeah, I really think it's just being relatable, people being able to feel comfortable, fit in, feeling like they have a community to go to. You know, our Facebook followers, we see a lot of the same people over and over again, you know, commenting on stuff. And I think they're even becoming friends. And it's just, that's not what was the purpose, but that's what's happening. And I love that. And that we can, you know, put up a Facebook Live, and that's been amazing too. All the comments that people send us, like, wow, I feel the same, or like, where can I get that? Or, you know, like that's just been awesome. So I think it's just being relatable and having a community. You know, when it comes to just right now, we have our social media anyway, will come on like special holidays, like National Coming Out Day was one thing that we did just as like a forum to talk. Like we each went on each one of our models and told our stories and how we feel and things like that. Like we do that with the community. As for like community relations, that's something I really want to focus on locally here in San Diego for next year. I realize I've been so like wrapped up in just trying to survive the brand. But now that we're starting to become a little bit more stable, that's something that's super important to me. I want to, you know, I know that San Diego specifically has an LGBT group for teens looking for assistance, help, like homeless. And that's something I've been really thinking about and hoping to incorporate, even if we go and, you know, help our whole team with the models and everything, go and help them sometime next year. So that's definitely in the plan. I just have to really think that one through and where we want to focus our efforts, because there's just so many, you know, different avenues we could go. But I think starting with the youth would be amazing. Sure. Yes. On our Facebook, I mean, that's a lot of things we have to filter out. There's a lot of people that will say negative comments that don't know anything about the brand, and they'll say some pretty horrible things, and we'll just delete them out. You know, before I used to get so upset and I would want to answer everything back, but I think just like banning these users and doing that right now is what we're doing. But overall, we've had a really just positive experience. The only thing, again, going back to the pricing, that's something we experience even from within our community, that maybe I'll make a video someday, or they can follow like us as we're like making this brand. I was thinking of doing something like that to just show like what goes into making a brand happen. But that's been pretty much it for the most part. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of pieces that I think of. One, yes, that we're in year 2 right now. After year 1, I thought that we were going to go out of business. I was so scared, and I didn't know what I was going to do, you know, go back to casinos. I don't know. But, I think once we thought about this crowdfunding model and really thinking of our consumer price points, how we were going to be able to invest in other productions without having investors, and being able to survive that with the solution of crowdfunding that we created, that's a success in itself for sure. You know, our revenue has changed drastically in 1 year. And so I know we're making the right moves, and that in itself just feels amazing. And I can't wait to continue with the same kind of business model with little tweaks as we're learning along the way. Yeah, I think just what I'm most proud of is being able to work with my wife and, you know, not knowing like this fashion world and figuring it out together, you know, and we haven't figured it out, but every single day, literally, I am learning so much. You know, it's just insane to think about where we came from and where we are now. And I'm so excited about the future and the ideas that we have. And just to see like how 2 people really, and now with a third part-time person, to see what we can do with just a little will, you know, that's really it. I just love like, you know, this life that we are creating on our own, you know, not based on society and shuffling papers from 9 to 5. Like I want to make this our own reality, and I'm so excited that we are making it happen and just going against all the naysayers that didn't think we could do it. That's a tough one. Surprising. Actually, everything has surprised me, to be honest. I really think it just goes right back with what I just said with just learning. Every day it seems like a surprise, and I'm like, oh, I did that wrong. I have to redo it, and not giving up. And I guess I'm surprised at myself for not giving up, because I know there were so many times where I wanted to throw in the towel, but there's something in me. I just have a true love for our brand and what we're doing and our customers. And I just love it so much. It's like the craziest love-hate relationship I could ever imagine. But the love surpasses it so much that, just it makes me happy. And I'm so excited to be able to do this every single day. You know, it's just, I guess it's really finding that right niche and how to, again, vocalize that sensitively, and really moving to that we're not based on gender or sexual orientation. And that's been a big challenge. And, you know, we'll even get it from our own community. Yes, we are a lesbian owned brand, but we accept all. And I never want to categorize us. And yeah, in the beginning, we might have been that brand, but I want to move away from that as much as possible and really just truly accept everyone. And again, what I was just going to say is, like, everyone, even in our own community, they say, oh, you know, you guys say men and women, you know, what about the non-binary people? And, you know, it kind of upset me, that comment, because yeah, why didn't I think of that? But no, wait, we're not categorizing people. And that's again, where I want to go. And so we just have to do a better job communicating that. And so that's been a challenge and something I'm thinking of constantly. So you'll see that morphing soon too, as we're able to grow. Yeah, I guess another motivation for us right now, and this is some big news, is that my wife is pregnant. We are pregnant, and we're going to have twins. So, you know, we're going to be doing this with our family, for our family, this business. And I use the word excited, but I can't wait. And we just found out this weekend it's going to be 2 girls. So we're going to be a house full of estrogen for sure. And yeah, that's going to be happening in April. So that'll be interesting, the dynamic with, like, you know, as much passion I have with this business and trying to level it with a new passion that's coming, and that's our family that we're going to be growing. And yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of, like, queer fashion brands out there. We're a lot of small companies. And what I think is really cool and very different from mainstream is that we promote each other. Like, we went, and I met a bunch of them at Queer Fashion Week the last 2 years now. And it's been amazing. Like, I've never seen that before, where you want to help each other out. I think it's because we're so small and we relate on so many levels, and we're all so different but the same, that we just want to help each other and see each other succeed. And I don't think you'll find that with any other brand or mainstream brands. You know, it's just crazy. And that's what I love about our community too, is that, you know, we're there for each other. Like, it's even our competing brands, we're like friends with them, and it's awesome. It's awesome. So that's really all I want to say on that.